Let's also bring on board L&T's SN Subrahmanyan, the CEO and MD at L&T, talking about the Schneider deal.
I think the way to look at such transactions is that it's a serious transaction. We had 3 or 4 multinational companies looking into this seriously. When you have transactions of this nature with multinational organizations, they are process oriented, procedure oriented, and they are also getting into a new country and taking over a large asset. It's a fairly big commitment from their side.
Right.
So they have to do their respectful due diligence and get into all aspects of the market and business before they finally go about it. For us, it's a 5 to 6 decades old business. This is one of the earliest part of L&T. L&T Switchgear is a very well known company as a product, as a brand. It's there in all parts of the country, length and breadth. It's present in Malaysia, Far East, some extent in Australia and in Indonesia. And such transactions required the meeting of minds and detailing. And when 3 companies said to do the same thing, we had to go through the process of the 3 companies. Nobody is going to do the transaction otherwise. Schneider took a lot more effort, showed a lot more passion, commitment, eagerness, and finally we went through with it. And I think it's a fair time. I wouldn't call it a very long played out transaction. It required the kind of seriousness, and that's what was done. We signed it today afternoon, and here we are announcing it. Right.
Now, you spoke about the legacy of the electrical and automation business. It's had a strong presence over several decades. It has presence in Middle East, Europe, India, significant R&D capabilities as well. Why did L&T decide to classify this as a non-core asset? And is it now going to be the stated intent of L&T going forward that verticals which perhaps do not have the potential to hit the $1 billion mark will now be classified as non-core, and you will look for sales for them?
We have this practice and process of going through what is called a strategic plan. We do it once every 5 years, and sometimes if there are major changes in the economic situations or the world markets, we do it maybe a midterm strategic plan too.
Right.
This is a practice which has been going on for a fairly long time within the company, 20-25 years. It's called Lakshya this time. Now in that process, we look at business, we look at core areas, thrust areas, geographies, competition, products that we need to be in, where is the national economy moving, and normally L&T is into many activities where the nation wants it to be. Now this business, as I said, has been there for 5 to 6 decades, well known L&T business, sales turnover about 5,000 crores, commensurate margins. And one of the key requisites of the business is a fair spend on research development to patent products and to keep it moving forward.
Right.
So once upon a time, very dominant business. It's still dominant, but not as dominant as it used to be. Schneider is a $30 billion company, 160 countries, 1,44,000 people. 1% of R&D spend is $300 million, 2,000 crores. I believe they have a better wherewithals of keeping this business and taking it forward. So that's what we have done. The chairman, Mr. Naik, and him especially, the other people concerned, including all of us, sat together and said that let's look at it from that point of view. And when we said that was the way to look at it, we found from Schneider a very good offer. We found matching of minds, matching of synergies, matching of passion, commitment, the wherewithal to take this business forward. It's like a daughter or son moving out of the house at some point of time, and therefore we wanted to house it properly because the employees there are our employees.
You wanted to ensure the transition also would be smooth.
Transition would be smooth, nitty-gritties would be got into, and when somebody showed that commitment, we moved forward with it, and that's